You're watching Pace Morby's Get Creative podcast with your host, Justin Tuminowski. Follow me at Real Estate Justin and let's close some creative deals together.
What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Get Creative podcast. I'm your host, Justin Tuminowski. You can find me at realestatejustin.com.
Hey, gang, I'm Tracy Koa, and I've been in the SubTo community about 1.5 years, and I'm a Gator, and I'm an owners club. We met because Justin was my mentor. I joined as the executive part of SubTo because I'd come from a mentorship before, and I really felt clueless. You know, I had the strength, but I didn't really have the support in the community to help me take the next step. So I thought when I joined, I'm like, all right, I'm going all in. Well, you know me, I'm like an all-in person. So there was no option. So part of that executive package came one-on-one mentorship, and you were my guy. And that's how we met. And you know, I've said this to you before, but so grateful for you because you're just an honest person, right? And I'm sharing with you the things I'm doing, and you're like, whoa, time out. Just stop. Like, don't do those things.
Yeah, you were going through a lot, though. You are a firecracker, and there's not everyone I would do that with, honestly, because there's some folks who just don't want to hear it.
Right.
And I can say it till I'm blue in the face. And there's a gentleman I'm thinking of in my brain right now. I was talking with Eric Irvine over the weekend in Arizona about this gentleman. And I actually showed him examples of how like crazy he is. And everything I could say it till blue in the face. It wouldn't change a thing. However, I also felt a connection with you. Like, and there's some love there where I was like, we would get off the call and we would talk on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was like this warm spirit, and I say it genuinely, is like, I care. Sometimes you just care more for people. And I'm not saying that there was any epiphanies that we've developed or anything like that, or there was some magical thing that.
No, we just jived. Yeah. Just, but it's like we were buddies forever, you know?
Yeah. And that's it. And I care for like what was going on. And then, you were vulnerable. You said what was going on. And that's also conducive to this positive things that result from that is where someone's listening and they can at least maybe give some decent advice. And then you took the advice or.
What you just said too about being vulnerable, I appreciate that you bring that up because that's a trait that I really pride myself in, and it changes everything, right? So when I met you, I didn't really even know what I was doing. I was all over the place, and I was thinking about joining Gator, I think maybe I'd already joined Gator, and I'd lent a little bit of money before. And what I learned is so through private money lending, I mean, you lose money, you'll make money. I mean, it's a crazy world. I mean, it really is. Like, you think about it, back in the day, that was like, you know, yo, Vinny, I'm going to break your fingers if you don't pay me back. I mean, like, it's not like that, but I mean, it is like, it's kind of crazy. But I decided that I wanted to share my losses with people, not just my wins, right? And that's hard for people to do. A lot of people would come up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're really vulnerable. Like, you just admitted to making a massive mistake and losing a ton of money. Why would you do that?" I'm like, "So you don't do that.
Yeah.
Why should you do that?" What? So I just like pretend everything's rosy and perfect.
Yeah.
And then you go make that same mistake. Yeah. Vulnerability is huge.
It is. And then the coolest thing is learning from the mistakes. You know, we had something that was going on. It was a renovation going like way too long. And I was like, I'll just throw money at it just to make it go away.
Yeah.
And, you know, although there's something to be said about that, I understand there are people that's why people lose deals too, because renovations become too long. You get too busy, you know, you're not managing things properly, and all those things would occur. And, you know, I also just said to myself, I'm like, that's it. No more like large scale renovations from afar. I'm not equipped for it, and I'm not mentally equipped for it, and I don't want it. I don't want that stress. I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it takes those moments, Tracy, to go just like you. It's like, all right, cool. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that experience. And now we could at least pass the torch, and maybe someone else can say, hey, you know what? That's true. Maybe I should say no.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so true.
But Tracy, we're here not to talk about me. We're here to talk about or coaching or SubTo. We're here to talk about you. More importantly, I want to hear about what you got going on these days. Like you said, like I said, guys, earlier, she's a jack of all, multi-tool, I'll say. And I mean that in the most sincere way of she's super, super smart, educator, former educator. Yeah. I don't think you're ever going to leave that nature. So
no. It's funny you say that. I've tried, but it just keeps coming right back.
Yeah. And that's good. That's probably like where the nurturing thing sort of comes from too. And that warm spirit, it's so easy to talk to you. But also at the same time, you're doing co-living now, but you're doing some co-living turned on its head in a sense.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm going to be green on the outside too. I'm going to sit with the audience, Tracy, and we're going to ask some basic stuff, go through it. But you're doing some, I guess, new construction co-living is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah. Right. And doing a little bit of everything. I'll give a brief overview of co-living because in my little world, the people I am around most of the time understand co-living. But what I've realized when I branch out and I'm connecting with other people I know, and I've got a lot of women investors I know from a mentorship and just the broader community, not everybody understands what that is. So I'll break that down really briefly. And I'll start by saying the reason I do this, it does increase your cash flow, indeed, but it provides the opportunity to truly make a dent in the housing crisis. Hawaii is very near and dear to my heart. I've lived there for many, many years, and the housing crisis there is astronomical. It's outrageous. I have a couple, mom, a dad, their daughter, and an auntie that live in a 500 square foot studio. And when they pay me their $1,675 rent every month, which is cheap, like I lose money on that, they text me, "Oh, we're so thankful. We just want to remind you how grateful we are." They're two teachers and they were going to live in their car. For 4 months, they looked for somewhere to live and couldn't find anywhere to live. So that's part of what got me thinking, like, how do we, what are the different crazy things? And co-living is where you take a home, a traditional single family home, and you chop it up into smaller pieces. And so you make more bedrooms that are there. So if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, depending on the square footage, depending on the layout, you can change that and turn it into a 5-6 bedroom. You need to add a bathroom or two. I'm not saying we're just cramming as many people in a
boarding house
in the garage and, come on, like everybody deserves a safe, clean, nice home. And that's what we're trying to do. Right. And this is for the people that are serving your coffee, the person checking you out at the grocery store, the guy helping you at the hardware store. Those are the people. I'm a single mom. It is hard. After I was divorced and before I had the money to like step out on my own, it was impossible to find somewhere to live. There were moments where I thought I was going to be homeless with my daughter. And I was an educator, right? But an educator kind of makes about the same as a barista.
Yeah.
Or a waitress. Maybe they even make more with tips. So that's our problem is if you're single in America, dude, what are you like, where are you going to live?
Yeah.
So this really is one of the ways to solve the problem, but it can be challenging because it's not just as simple as let me pick up a creative single family home. You've got to go through some steps. You need capital to do this because there isn't a mortgage product out there yet that allows you to get a debt service loan on a co-living property because they don't know how to evaluate the ARV of this, right? And as we know, that's how a mortgage company determines whether or not they're going to give you a loan, right? What's that debt service ratio look like? And are you going to cash flow? What's going on? They don't know how to, you can't get somebody to even come in and do an appraisal, right? The appraisers are like, what in the world is happening here?
This isn't a beep, boop, boop, boop. They're like, their heads explode. And they're like, this isn't a single family. Is this supposed to be a multifamily? But all right, let me interrupt real quick though.
Yeah.
Some people probably push back on even the income analysis, right? Because there's no way of like saying, hey, here's the comps, here's AirDNA. I ran into that problem.
Yep.
And even with an Airbnb for a smaller lender that I was working with a long time ago, I was like, I'm going to Airbnb one of them. That's when I started doing like that micro family thought where I was like, Airbnb long-term, midterm. And they're like, no, we don't, bro. We don't even know what language you're speaking right now. It's LTR, long-term rental. So you're still seeing that?
%.
Okay.
And I see that as the biggest barrier for people to enter into co-living. Especially if you're a new investor, you might go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes, this is exactly what I want to do to help people. And then as you start to go through the process, it's even hard really to find the information, right? What are the steps? So I'm really excited because my partner, Justin Tuminowski, and I are going to be teaching the co-living semesters in SubTo. It's the first time we've ever done co-living. And I love to educate people in general, as you know, but I'm so passionate about teaching people how to get going in co-living, right?
So good.
So because there are these steps, right? You have to raise capital, get into it, right? And then you got to get the gap funding. right? And then you do a rehab, just like a good old fashioned rehab. And then you refinance into your long-term debt. Cool. And now you've got to come back with a second gap round to turn that into your co-living.
So meaning like you're saying that, so post the burr, or we can call it like the stir or creative. So guys, you think about a creative finance, burr, call them CURS, SIRS, whatever we want to do. But you would then do the construction after that. So try to refinance on that's interesting. Okay. So do they refinance it on the asset based on how it is performing at the time? Hey, we're going to do this. And so they give you X amount. Then go forward with, putting up extra walls, making the garage converted, all those extra things after the loan's in place.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And what about, keep going.
No.
I'm doing one right now, and we got kicked in the teeth as far as the town. I thought I was going to get 3 units. They gave us 2. So we're doing something very similar where I go, this is too big of a house that I can just do 2. It'd be 2 freaking 4-bedroom houses. That's insane. And I go, so we have 1 extra unit. We put everything in place, separate electrical. It's brand new, essentially. And as soon as we get that refinance, and as soon as everything's done, the kitchen's going in, and and we're putting up a wall. It's just a wall where a door is, and that's it. It's another unit.
Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
Very similar to that.
Yeah. So that's kind of where the stumbling block is for people. And especially if you're just getting going in real estate, not everybody knows how to raise capital, right? I mean, I spent a year building relationships in the private money space because I knew that was going to be really important. I was going to need money. So as I was learning how to lend my own money, I was also learning what does this whole process look like, right? And so I'm building all these relationships with lenders and borrowers, because the borrowers are the people now I go to when I need a deal, because I know that they're getting deal flow. So, but if you're new, that's tough, right? And you're going to need to hold this debt for a while, right? So you really need a private money partner or a PMP to come in with that back end money or your own funds. Right? That has become a barrier to people, and it's frustrating to see because it's such a beautiful model, and it makes people, if you're able to do it right, there's the other piece is the underwriting piece. People really struggle with, how do you underwrite co-living? So that's another thing Dustin and I teach. We've got a great ebook, which we love to give away, right?
Oh,
so
for sure.
Find me, guys. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram. You DM me and we'll send you for free our playbook. And we try to really break it down in the steps for people so you can see, especially about the underwriting, right? That's huge because, again, you can't go on AirDNA.
No.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
Can we dive into that, Tracy? Because I think that's one of the most important aspects of it. So, guys, first of all, you need to get her ebook. Please reach out to her at Tracy Koa, TracyKoa. So please send her a DM. Don't do it right this second, or keep listening.
Yeah.
Tracy, that is one of the most, who's the trusted Nisha? I prefer to say, hey, I know how to get the asset. I know how to make the asset look nice.
Yeah.
I can do the construction, the whole thing, but I am not going to operate this thing.
Yeah.
What do you do? Where do you start? Is there a database? Is there a place?
Yeah. Great question. No.
All right.
So one of the things that I focus on right now is finding people properties that have all the components together. I'll even underwrite them for you. I never bring people a deal unless I've physically put my eyes on it. And I know that the numbers work. I'm checking the ARV. I'm doing the underwriting. And so that's one of the things with the co-living that I love to do is support people with that. So that's a big piece of what I work on. All my buyers that are looking for co-living properties that come to me, I get real clear with them on what they want. What is the cash flow they need? What kind of funding do they have in place? Do you need help with funding? And really help put all those pieces together, because it's not just about finding a home that has a floor plan that works, that meets some square footage criteria, but it has to be in an area where there's public transportation. Most of these people don't have cars, but they do. So then you also have to make sure there's parking. You want it to be by where these people work, right? Is there a Walmart? Is there a Home Depot? Is there a Fred Meyer, whatever the big stores are? Is there a college, an Amazon distribution center? So where it's got to be near a hub of hourly workers, right? And it's got to be in a neighborhood where there's not an HOA, right? So we're talking C, B class neighborhoods, not necessarily the hood, but like somewhere between the hood and like in
working
the middle
class. It's a working class neighborhood, probably, right?
Yeah. So there's all these little pieces, and then you get that figured out, and then you have to figure out who's managing it.
Mm-hmm.
How am I getting my tenants? What is all that going to cost me, right? I'm paying the utilities, so you've got to figure that out. You've got to figure out vacancy rate, totally different. And it's also different based on, are you renting by the week? Are you renting by the month? Are you 6 month? Like everybody has a different model. So there's all these caveats, and it's taken me months. I've studied this model for over a year, and I've learned so much in that time. And I've really gotten to a place where I feel really confident that I can set people up. If that's what you want to do, right? If you're like, I'm all in. If you're like me and you're like, let's go, I'm willing to do it all. I'm here to help you with that, right?
But Tracy, you would probably take someone's money though. Like, let's say like, I don't want to do I don't find deals. Sure, you can give me a deal, Tracy, but I don't have enough management. I don't want to stay up at night. I don't want to even have that anxiety of filling
Not a real
that.
estate, no.
Yeah, well, I know.
No, I'm kidding.
You can invest in real estate. That's the thing I want to drive home.
100%.
So if I had FHO, like a 401k that I want to do a self-directed on that we just took out $250,000 on, is that something that like someone could approach you with? Would you invest with them or allow them to invest with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I've decided to do, because we were playing around with that, and then my partner, Justin Tuminowski, and I decided, hold on a minute. One, we've learned in this year that you have a higher or lower vacancy rate if people have their own bathroom, right? Let's be real. These are grownups you're putting there. No grownup wants to share a freaking bathroom.
Hell no.
So we focused on doing new builds where it's a bedroom with a bathroom. The kitchen is set up really nice where everybody has their own cupboards. You know, you've got a sense of ownership in your space in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing is we're saying to people, you want to learn about co-living. You don't really want to do all the things. You don't necessarily know how to do all the things. Come to us. Let's invest together. You're going to invest in us. We're going to teach you. If you want, we're going to teach you the entire way through. You're going to follow the new build. You're going to be part of our workshops. Not everybody invest with us and it is in the workshop. A lot of people just sign up for our workshops and they go do it on their own. And that's amazing. And maybe I'm going to help them find the property and maybe not. Maybe they're just going to come to the workshop, go do their thing. Love that. But if you're like one of those people that goes, I need to learn hands-on. I want to be patient with this. I'm a little nervous to kind of do this on my own, which believe me, I get. I love to have partners in all of my projects. Then come and invest with us on a new build. You're watching it from the ground up. You can invest as little as $5,000. You get the course, right? So you're just learning the whole way through. And our goal is with this, if you want to do this on your own, that's our goal. We want to get you to the point where you are on your own. We're always here to support you, but you just go do your thing or not, or you go, this is awesome. We're like, I'm making a change in the world. I'm getting a great return on my money. Let me just keep rolling my money over with you. That's great too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we found with new builds. You find the land in an area that's zoned well. You make sure that you're not maxing out your capacity. That's the other thing that people are nervous about. Most cities and towns only allow 5 to 6 non-related individuals to live in a home. If your neighbors don't love what you're doing, all they have to do is call the county. Now, I know thousands and thousands of people doing this. I don't know, maybe I've heard 3 or 4 times it's happened. So it's not huge, but if you're rolling all your money on red and the neighbor calls you in, like that's scary.
Your strategy just went up on its head and your cash flow that you relied on so heavily on could be in jeopardy. So yes,
correct.
Be advised that you need to take Tracy's advice on that.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So brand new, they can sit in the passenger seat. You can teach them from the ground up. They can either go on their own, do it, or sit in the passenger seat. I always use this example, Tracy. It's sit in the passenger seat with me. You can either take a nap and I'll wake you up when we get there, or you can just hang out with me and look out the window and we'll shoot the breeze.
I might steal that from you.
I developed it over time. So one of our friends, Jeff, he invested with me. I'm like, bro, you have no time. Just sit in the passenger seat. And then I'm like, maybe you could take a nap. And I think he kind of did take a nap on that deal. And then I'm like,
right. Like,
yeah, that's
the coolest part of real estate to me. That's how I learned about multifamily. I didn't know anything about multifamily and I was very intrigued. And PACE has a SubTo fund And he did a similar thing where it was like, if you invest in my fund, I'm gonna bring you along for the ride, right?
Yeah.
And I did. I was a passenger, but I paid it. I didn't take a nap, which was cool because I learned at the end it's not my jam.
Yeah.
Cool. I own multifamily. As a result, I learned enough to go buy some multifamily, but then I turned them into what I call multi-generational living,
So
which
good.
it's in Hawaii. And that really helps solve the problem where you've got large extended families trying to find a home together.
Yeah.
And people are like, we're not putting 16 people in our 4-bedroom. Where
No.
me, I'm like, let's go. You
Yeah.
got 2 grandmas, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, 2 moms and dads, and a bunch of kids. Let's go. You guys love each other. You want to live together?
Yeah.
Right
Rock
on.
and roll.
Right.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Tracy. And I know that that passion for Hawaii does run deep with you.
Yeah.
We've talked about it prior. So for the sake of like time, and I want to make sure that people get some value out of this too, but at the same time, also, how do we bring you value? Tracy in 2025 and beyond with Dustin. Right now, it's reaching out to you DMs. It's Tracy Koa, on Instagram, DMs. Get the ebook, get the playbook. Guys, tune into them. If you're inside the SubTo community, they're going to be teaching the semesters, which I'm going to be tuning into. If they want to sit on the sidelines, well, like Tracy, what else? What else do you need? You have deal.
I mean, honestly, I'm really passionate to serve people on this. And so, Justin, like you said, really, guys, I'm not selling anything in the ebook. It's just reach out, DM me, co-living, it just step by step. And it's going to give you an overview so you can decide, wow, this is something, yes, and I'm an all-in person and I'm going to just go for it. And it's going to really give you enough information to get going. And I think that's important. You got to determine, am I doing this or am I going to kind of, like you said, take the passenger seat for a minute and have someone help me out? So please do that. I also have a YouTube channel. It's called @Tracy Koa. I'm really involved in motivational speaking and just providing people the support to get over the hump, right? To get through the thing, because a little bit about my history. I definitely have come from a kid living on the streets to putting myself through college and now becoming an entrepreneur. So I just want to help and support people with that, because when you're first getting into real estate or any business, it's a hard road. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and it's really easy to second guess yourself. And so that's a big thing I'm passionate about. So check out my YouTube channel if you want some motivation and inspiration. Again, that's @Tracy Koa. Everything's @Tracy Koa. It's easy.
And you've been through it too. And that's the other thing. It's like, we all sometimes just need that little, we know the right thing sometimes, but we just need that second opinion or just the validation to go forward or not. But also maybe if you have prevented some things from going sour, so you have seen some things and you know enough now to prevent them. And that's the coolest part of this. Tracy, so if someone had land though, like, are you looking for a certain market, or if they had land or multifamily, commercial-ish, or the area can be conducive for the co-living space?
Yeah,
are you looking for land or no?
Yeah, that's a great question. I am. I do have a partnership with a company that also helps us acquire land, because they evaluate it for us before they even give it to us. Because again, same thing, lots of things. But yes, if you're a seller of land, you acquire land, I would love to talk to you. Right now we're focused on Arizona and then probably Florida. So those are our two. I have another partner, Kaipo is his name as well. And so Kaipo's in Arizona and Dustin's in Florida. And so between the three of us, that's kind of a nice mix. So
really good.
Yeah, do come with us. And if you're someone that is acquiring land and you want to learn, how do I acquire land for other people that want to do new builds? Come and reach out to me. I will help teach you what it is we're looking for if you're going to do new build co-living.
Do you have a buy box or some sort of thing we can find on your Instagram, or can we put that in the ebook or a workbook that you guys?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. No, I don't, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Well, guys,
we should add it to the ebook.
We're going to make Dustin and Tracy get their cheat sheet out on what really, how do you bring the most value to them? Because I 100% know they're going to give their value back, sevenfold, tenfold. But what I would say is go reach out to them, get that playbook, do the thing, please, and get off your keister. If you have mom, you have money, you have grandma's money, you have mom's money, 401k, self-directed. Guys, I'm telling you, those are the newest ways of getting into this game as well. And where, partner up, squad up with the right jockey and horse is what I like to say. Get with the right team. Don't just go out and say, hey, I have a bunch of money in my hand. Who wants to take it and who wants to do a deal? Please do not do that. Please vet. But I will like to say that, reach out to Tracy Koa, @Tracy Koa. And guys, that's KOA for all y'all who don't know how to spell like me.
Like the cat,
And yes,
but not.
Tracy, you've said it all. What else? Is that it?
That's it.
That's
We're
it for
good.
Tracy. Guys,
So fun.
give Tracy some love, please, please, please. This is Get Creative Podcast. I'm so happy to have Tracy on this. And guys, we have episodes going on every single day, so please never miss one. If you want to get on this podcast, if you're inside of one of our communities, SubTo, Gator, Top Tier, please reach out to Taya, Taya, at pacemorby.com. Let her know how you want to share your wins and tell your story. And if you're tired of sitting on the sidelines, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Come join our thriving community of winners and folks like Tracy and Dustin who make their mark on the industry, because this is number one episode for her, but you can bet your bottom dollar she's going to be back. Guys, that's Get Creative Podcast. I'll see you on the next one.